We all hit our heads, and it hurts. But after a while, the pain does go away. After it's gone, though, is there any lasting damage? Unfortunately, the answer to this question seems to be yes. Studies of people who get paid to hit their heads a lot, or professional athletes, teach us that repeated blows to the head increases the likelihood of developing brain diseases such as dementia or depression. Now, the question I ask is why? Why does an injury now cause these types of diseases so much later in life? And is there anything that we can do to help stop this from happening? In order to answer this question, we need to understand a little bit more about what happens with a brain injury. When a head gets hit, the brain tissue experiences a physically damaging stress. Now, this stress also initiates a change in the chemical reactions happening in the brain and leads to a chemical imbalance. I study these chemical imbalances because they have been shown to critically contribute to the development of the brain diseases. Now, to study something like this, we need people with head injuries. And unfortunately, I can't walk around with the sledgehammer of science, hit people on the head, and then ask to look at their brains. Instead, we need to find people that will hit themselves on the head. We found teenage hockey players. We got 100 of them who had never had a concussion or any other head injury, and they each gave us a sample that we did a chemical analysis of. We then let them go out, play hockey, and do their thing. Lucky for me, not so much for them, over a third of them have already had a concussion, and the season isn't over yet. The ones who do have a concussion, we collect a second sample from and analyze that as well. And now, as much as it would make sense to take a brain sample, we're not allowed to take the brains from the kids because they still need it. So instead, we get a urine sample, which might seem strange at first, but I like to think of urine as the garbage man of the body. It collects waste from everything and throws it out. And just like a weird neighbor can go through your trash and find out all sorts of interesting things about you, so too can a weird grad student go through a urine sample, analyze it, and find out interesting things about the person. I also like to point out that the brain uses about a quarter of your energy, and therefore about a quarter of your waste is being produced from your brain, and changes to brain chemistry are detected in the urine. We then compare the before and after concussion samples and identify which chemicals are significantly changed. We then trace these chemicals back to the molecular processes in the brain that they originate from and find out where they're coming from. We can then develop therapies to target those processes to help mitigate the development of disease and help save our brains for the future.